Hello and welcome to JPK Cooks. I'm Jason and today I'm going to be cooking a really nice hearty vegetable soup. You need something like this in the winter to give you that nice warming feeling that's nutritious, got some really nice clean flavours. So that's what we're going to be making today. Okay, so I've got my vegetables here. I've already prepped some leeks and some onions, some carrots, some celery. I've also put some herbs in there, a bit of rosemary you can see, and a bit of thyme in there as well. So that's ready, and I just sweated that off for about 10 minutes just to soften it a little bit, just to release some of those sugars. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this back onto the pot, onto the hob, and we're going to start cooking. So I've got some butternut squash here that's going into my vegetable soup today. I've got some celeriac, which is absolutely delightful vegetable, very, very underused. I've also got some Swede, which I'm going to put in as well. I chopped that earlier. And I've got some broccoli. Now this broccoli was just some old broccoli that I found in the fridge. I mean, as with the Swede, I had half a Swede in the fridge, a bit of butternut squash, some celeriac, and I've just taken the things out of my fridge and I'm just going to throw them all together, so no wastage at all. Okay, so I just wanted to talk to you very briefly about stock. So I've got some stock that I've made earlier, some nice vegetable stock here. I've also got some chicken stock as well that I've again made earlier and just froze, so they're frozen. Today I'm going to be using vegetable stock in this. You don't have to make your own stock. It's not essential. You know, you can go to the shop and you can buy, you know, one of these Knorr stocks, a vegetable stock pot, or beef stock pot if whatever you're making, or you can have chicken stock if you're making a chicken soup, or even the cubes. Even the cubes are really good. So it doesn't have to be a challenging soup. Just trying to make cooking fun and easy and simple, but yes, still with that nutritious element to it. Okay, so as I said before, what you need to do is you need to have some carrots, some celery, some leeks, some onion, garlic if you want it. That's kind of the basis. It's the basis of most soups. You know, that's your kind of prep, which allows you to kind of build on that flavour. So I've just sweated this for literally 10 minutes, and then as you can see, that's lovely and brown. You can hear that sizzling, and some of the aromas are absolutely delightful. Okay, so now that that's kind of ready, what I'm going to do now is add the rest of my vegetables. So I've got some celeriac here, so I'm going to add that to the pot. I've got some butternut squash, so I'm going to add that in as well. And some Swede. I absolutely love Swede. It's a very, very underrated vegetable now. And I've got some broccoli here as well, which I'm going to add in a moment. So I've got that all in. So I'm going to cook that up for a bit. Just let that sweat a little bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put the lid on, turn that down. So if you need to add a little bit more oil, you can do that. So I started off, I used, with the base, I used 3 tablespoons of oil, 2 carrots, a whole onion, 2 cloves of garlic, a leek, a stick of leek, stick of celery, and just threw a sprig of thyme and a sprig of rosemary into that. See, so now that's all cooking really nicely. It's coming together. Okay, so I'm going to add my broccoli in down now. Put my broccoli in. Don't put too many greens in there because then it will go green and your children might not be as keen to eat it if it's too green. Okay, and that's really, really important. But there's nothing like a lovely homemade vegetable soup in the winter with some crusty bread. Absolutely delightful. Okay, so I'm going to turn that down for a moment. put the lid back on it. I'm going to simmer that for, just let that kind of brown for a few minutes. Okay, so this is a fantastic meal for the winter. Very cheap, very nutritious, alongside some crusty bread. You just can't beat a nice warm soup. Okay, so as you can see, that looks absolutely delightful. So I'm going to add my stock to that. See, I've frozen my stock, so just going to put that in like that, literally just like that, and just going to leave that for a minute, just put the lid back on for a minute. Okay, so as you can see, our stock has defrosted, and that is looking absolutely delicious. And the smells coming from this pot, very difficult to describe. Very difficult to describe, but absolutely delightful. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of salt, nice big pinch of salt in there, and a nice pinch of pepper goes in there as well. And you'll notice I'm not adding any spices to this or anything like that. It's just herbs and vegetables. You want it really nice and clean. Okay, so now we'll just wait for that to boil, and we'll turn it down and we'll simmer it. Okay, so that's boiling away now, so that's ready to be turned down. I'm cooking for a family of 5, but if you're cooking for just 1 or 2 of you, just reduce the vegetables, the amount of vegetables that you use. I'm going to post this later on onto my Instagram page, and you'll have the recipe there so you can follow it. So we're simmering it, we're going to simmer it, turn it down and simmer it down to reduce it and to soften the vegetables. And then when we get to the vegetables being softened, we're going to use a hand blender to make it all smooth. Okay, that's it. Right, now let's just check to see if the vegetables have softened. Yep, they're absolutely lovely, nice and soft there. See that? Right, so that's nicely cooked. So now that that's nicely cooked, we're going to blend that with our hand blender. And as I said before, it's up to you. It's up to you if you want chunky bits in it or you want it really, really smooth. And don't forget to take out any stalks that are in there as well. So there we go. If you think it's too thick, you can always add some water if you want, a touch of water. We're going to add some cream to this, so it will loosen it down a little bit anyway. So we're all done with the blender. And that looks absolutely delicious. We're just going to taste it now. Just going to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. Just give that a stir. Okay. See, I like it. I don't like it completely smooth. I like it with a few kind of bits in it, something to bite on. So I'm adding 150 mils of cream to this, but cream is optional and it's entirely up to you. Look at that, that looks absolutely delightful. Obviously the cream adds an element of fat to it. I don't think that do you any harm in the winter. It's actually what you need. Okay, so our soup's all ready now, so we're going to serve it. Okay, so just get it into the bowl. Just like that. And you can adjust the thickness of it as you like it. I really like it quite thick, like that. Okay, so we've got our soup. We're going to add a dash of cream. Okay, and a little bit of parsley. Now we're going to put some bread with this, nice chunky bread. So I like to rip it rather than slicing it because it just looks so much nicer. Okay, so there we have it, a beautiful bowl of vegetable soup. Okay, don't forget to watch the video, subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Okay, take care, bye for now.